me. Say you know why they're not gonna cut us?
Got rights to be playing.
No,
What we doing?
no. They're not gonna cut us.
I can't hear me. Can they hear us?
Yeah,
and they heard all that doggone music that's copyrighted.
No, but that's fine because
I don't know what we're talking about. Are we on the air? Are we?
Yes.
Okay, so can we go ahead and just say welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club? I'm your brother John.
This is Qiana.
And I'm the one and only Mr.
And back to what we were saying, is they not because we had looped.
Okay.
And they catch you at the beginning. Thank you. Go ahead.
That's it. We ready.
Let's go.
We just changed the intro. Let's just change it. Welcome. How y'all feeling this morning?
Go ahead, do the thing. You don't got to get upset because it changed
I ain't
a little
upset.
bit.
I'm just
it changed a little bit. It ain't even changed a lot.
It showed up, did. So go ahead.
The Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is an independently produced program. The views, opinions, and statements expressed by hosts, guests, or callers are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, positions, or policies of Carifesta Radio, 99 Jams, its ownership, management, affiliates, sponsors, or partners. Enjoy the show.
Oh, that's phone. Thank you for that.
You heard it here first.
Thank you.
Yep. All right.
All right, it's Freestyle Friday.
Welcome to the ride.
Yes.
Hey, I'm the one and only Mr. Edmund.
We already said that.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm just.
Okay, I can hear me now.
All right.
That's what I do. While I'm tweaking and doing all that. Okay, so y'all, listen.
Yeah.
Up and coming weekend, we got some news.
Some news you can use.
Yeah.
Don't lose your shoes.
Some events. A lot of good things happening.
They got special guests coming in too.
Yeah,
we do.
Candidate for mayor, Brandi Gabbard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be a ride.
Yeah. So buckle up, put your seatbelt on, and y'all make sure that y'all share.
Tag a friend, because we going right in.
Go ahead, Ian.
What we talking about?
Man.
Freestyle Friday. What's up?
So Dr. Fauci was all over the news.
Yeah, he was.
All over the news. He pled the fifth.
Yeah.
He played the Fifth Amendment. I guess he was in front of Congress.
Yeah.
Delivering testimony around the COVID vaccine and the COVID pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess his attorneys told him to plead the fifth. He felt that he was under attack. And he pled the Fifth Amendment to all the questions or a lot of the questions.
Like I think he pleaded them to everything.
They
like
100 plus times.
They asked him what color tie he got on. He said on the advice of my lawyer,
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. They say, what color is that folder? What color is the carpet?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I plead the fifth.
And listen, I'm gonna say this, right?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of flack around the COVID-19 vaccination.
Mhm.
His life has been threatened. People want to kill him and his family, right? Some people even said he should be executed.
Really?
Listen, I'm telling you,
that's extreme.
Listen, the man. If I was him, I would have played the fifth. Just like Fauci. I wouldn't have had nothing to say either. Talk to me, Brother John.
I don't how though. Like, because you had a whole lot to say.
That's where I'm at too. Like
you had a whole lot to say.
So here you go. Leaders lead, right?
But he's an employee.
He retired now.
I mean,
he was the leading doctor, right?
Okay.
No. He was the leading doctor, right? Okay, and he was the one that they took the information from. That was the one who co-signed and said to go with it. Like he was good enough to be the one they go to to say it's a go to give everybody these shots.
And now they're asking you questions about. And now you have
nothing to say.
So far as the law is concerned, right? He has been pardoned by President Biden.
Yeah.
He had pre-pardon. I never heard of a pre-pardon.
We're gonna pardon you before
we
ain't saying you did nothing, but just in case you did do something, we're gonna give you a pardon. See, all of that stuff is just like how do you in good conscience like say that? Like, just in case they come for you, we're going to pardon you before they come for you. And then you come and they saying, we're going to ask you about this advice you gave, and you say, I don't want to talk about it under the grounds that it may incriminate me.
You already pardoned, so give the people what you want, what they need.
Yeah.
You're already pardoned. If you can't get in trouble, you owe the people of the United States the facts, the truth.
Yeah.
Like, we rushed it. We were, however the case it was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this was a big fumble. But this is the things that what makes America, especially us, weary of the doctors and the medical advice that people give.
Yeah. So okay, let's talk about that. So if y'all just tuning in, we're talking about the Dr. Fauci conversation that's going on all over the internet.
Conversation that wasn't a conversation because Fauci ain't had nothing to say.
He pleaded the fifth. If y'all don't know, Dr. Fauci was head of the National Health Institute.
Yeah, that's the Institute of Health or something. And
for the United States.
For the United States. And they were asking him about, the research that they was doing in Wuhan.
Where did it come from?
Yeah. Asked him about the shutdowns, the lockdowns, and he had nothing to say about any of that stuff. And to your point, Q, like if you believe that it was the right thing to do, then you come in and you say, yeah, I believe it was the right thing to do, and you stand on it.
So I'm just being an advocate for the devil right now.
Okay.
And with his life on the line, because he feel that it was a witch hunt.
So
for them coming in there, and so you just show up to the witch hunt and just say I ain't do nothing.
No,
I ain't gonna say nothing.
On the grounds of I might incriminate myself. If people know what the Fifth Amendment means, it protects you from self-incrimination.
I want let's take it another direction too, because you mentioned this off air, and I want to lift it up. The thing that's a trip is like, even in hindsight, you still have people who like riding with Fauci on this stuff.
But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, because I was gonna say it's not that they riding with Fauci. It's the entire medical industry that's up there right now.
Okay.
Right. And he is a symbol of the industry.
Yeah.
And people are protecting him, vicariously protecting the industry.
It's giving MAGA vibes to me. That loyalty, that blind loyalty, blind support. Like, you mean to tell me you can't find nothing in that he did wrong? Like, they absolutely riding with Fauci till the wheels fall off. Yep. If I had the chance to do it over, I'd do it again.
But it ain't.
But he won't say that,
but
though.
It ain't him It ain't him.
Yeah.
You know what it said?
They're riding with the industry.
No, you know what? They ride. The people with power ride with the people with power, right?
Okay.
And it sounds like profit over people. What it sounds like to me. And regardless of just saying like, hey, we messed up. You know what? Our system is screwed up. We need to dismantle it. We need to start over. We need to fix the things that's wrong. We're going to plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Instead of just calling it what it is. Like we went in, gave y'all this vaccination, made everybody, we threatened people jobs.
Yeah.
We, you know.
We what they call it, vaccine shamed you.
Yeah, because you know they
told
hated us.
They told the people who didn't get the vaccine, like, y'all are responsible for people dying. Shame on y'all.
And now that
they were saying that,
and now that they're responsible allegedly for people dying, now it's like I plead the fifth.
Yeah, they told us that though, didn't they? You remember them saying that if you don't take the shot?
Oh, remember we were on here and people
you killing people.
Remember when they were on our timeline?
Yeah,
our timeline telling us, y'all bet no, I can't believe it. And we're telling people do what's best for you. We never once told nobody not to take the shot on this radio.
We said that we weren't.
We said that we wasn't, but you do what's best for you and yours.
Yeah. When we said we didn't give the blanket take the shot. We're gonna take the shot.
Yeah.
And whether we told the truth or not, because I know a lot of people who said they took the shot and didn't take the shot.
Okay.
I know people who got stripped from other people, right? Because I remember I had to get one.
What is it?
We know how you had to test strip and
yeah.
They was getting them from other people.
Okay.
Like it was
to show that you took the shot.
It was a market.
Yeah.
It was a market for it. I had one and I was going to do it to my job, but we just stood in unity. It was enough of us on the job that stood in unity. I didn't have to pull out my strip, but I had one
to keep the job. Yeah, you had.
I ain't came in to sit on
allegedly.
At one point, Tiffany says at one point you couldn't fly without showing you were vaccinated.
Man, you could talk to people without being vaccinated. Some people used to be like, "Hey, you vaccinated?" I remember. It's a couple things that I couldn't do because you wasn't vaccinated.
I wasn't vaccinated. Yeah,
and I think that what we have to do is we have to pull the people out from the process, because I think what's going on is people are so protecting of people. Right, we're not looking at the process.
Okay,
right, and when we look at the process, then we can see that this may not have been something for everybody. This may have been something for a closed group, right? And it must have been something we could have did in a different way. And we can't even get to that analyst or that thought of looking at it a different way because we're dug in protecting people.
Yeah,
protecting the image of the people, or because like this, if this blows up, this could hurt Democratic candidates and progressive candidates for years.
You think so?
Yes. If Fauci would have got up there and said the wrong thing, yes, this could have blew the midterms.
But I don't think so. Here we go.
People saying you.
But this is the thing is I don't think this is a Democrat or Republican thing.
It is partisan.
This is highly partisan.
Because that's what I saw people like defending Fauci, saying pleading the fifth, because they was like, oh, these are Trump supporters and this fake outrage.
But you gotta play the game.
I get it, but what I'm saying, this ain't a Democrat or Republican thing.
Yeah.
This is a power thing.
Yeah.
Like, listen, anybody, like we say this right now, you look at it, Trump was on the same road before he got out.
Trump told him it was gonna be over in 2 weeks.
Right. But then he was
on tripping. Ain't nothing. It's just
but like then he was on the same road.
Yeah.
What road?
Giving people vaccines when he was on his way out.
I don't remember Trump pushing it.
I don't know, because
I think they showed him taking the vaccine before he left out.
But it's the people.
Like he was on the same road.
But it ain't Trump. It's the people.
Okay.
It's the people. It's the people who are against it, and those people are influencing their politicians.
Yeah,
because you might be right. He probably did get the shot.
They was banning people. Like we had Reza Islam on here about a month ago.
Yeah.
Reza was labeled as one of what they called the disinformation dozen.
Yeah,
and they were saying that the things that they were saying at the time,
they deplatformed.
They deplatformed. They shadow banned them. They took them off YouTube. They took them off all of these spaces.
That's why
because they were telling because
they got kicked off for X.
But like I said, like there was a lot of, when you look at it, there was a lot of people that wasn't Democrats, Republicans that wasn't with taking the vaccine.
I want to ask the audience, how do you feel about the vaccine?
Yeah.
Is this Fauci stuff making you feel different about the actions you take? Did you have any complications? Like, just put it out to the people, brother.
And I'm not a vaccine person. So listen, no, it didn't make me feel any different. It just
you took the vaccine?
No, I did not. I was already there. So let me tell you, I was already there. Like I've never even took the flu shot.
Yeah.
What? I've never had the flu a day in my life.
What?
That's my story.
I never took the flu shot a day. And let me tell you,
feel like you're making other people unsafe?
No, I don't.
That's what
I feel like other people is making me unsafe. You know, like let me tell you, true story. Other people got the vaccine, and the whole time I never once got COVID.
Yeah.
I was around everybody who got COVID. And y'all know I was pregnant during that time.
Yeah.
Like my clients had COVID. My whole family got COVID right after Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Juneteenth, everybody came home. We did Father's Day. Everybody got COVID.
Yep. I remember that.
Me.
And I remember a Keith Sweat concert. Like it was after a Keith Sweat concert, and everybody came back from the concert
with COVID?
With COVID and sick. I remember that vividly because it was on my timeline. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I want y'all to pay attention to the medical advice.
Yeah. I slept in the bed. Let me tell you, I slept when Cheyenne got it. I slept in the bed with her because she was so sick. I never once got it, but she didn't take the vaccine either.
So while we talking about medicine and the medical industry, there's also, you were saying, a lot of backlash that's coming from the Florida advice on like not drugging children and
let's go
letting the children go play. You know what I'm saying?
And he eat healthy.
Yeah.
And I think this is another one of those political things, because it's a Republican and conservative saying.
Okay.
Progressives and Democrats don't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
But it's to me, from what I've heard about it as of today, it sounds like sound advice that we would take in a normal day. Yeah. A normal day, we will all take this sound advice from Attorney General.
Yeah, somebody says, look, don't give your children drug first. Look at their diet and get them to move around, go outside and play.
Listen,
that might help their mental health before you drug them. And people are like, who are you to tell me?
Yes, my doctor didn't tell me to do that. And but what people don't understand is that sometimes the best interest of you and your family is stationed with you and your family. Yeah. And even when your doctor or the elected officials or whoever you listen to say something, you still have to process that through common sense.
How many times you hear them in our community? They be like, they trying to give my baby Ritalin and I ain't giving them. Yeah. Oh, I ain't doing that. They crazy. We hear that all the time. And now they just don't like the messenger.
Yeah. But it's a check. It's a check. They go with it now too. And
but it's a lot of people that still not. Some is, we don't subscribe. No, it ain't that hard. No,
it's hard. It's hard because it's a system out there, and you got to understand the system, and to act like there isn't a system out there, and that's the problem that I have. People have selective outrage and selective common sense, right? When it comes from their people or their political party, they'll throw common sense and out the window and just blindly listen to whoever's saying whatever they're saying.
So here go Qiana. Yeah. I'm not loyal to any party.
Yeah.
I'm loyal to me and my community. Right. Yeah. And if it makes sense to me, I don't care if it's blue, purple, or black. That's where I'm voting at.
Do you think people really agree with them on that, or they just holding the party line? Because people may really agree that drugs is the best first option.
Some people may.
You think people really agree that drugs is the best first option?
Some people do. Some people are bought in and feel like that's modern medicine. Yeah. Some people are so educated that
so smart till they stupid. That's what
they don't understand is that an industry is a business. Yeah. So when they say the medical industry, they might as well say the medical business. Yeah. Right. The practice of medicine. Yeah. Right.
Practicing.
The practice of medicine. Yeah. So we have to understand that. Okay, listen, we got to take information in and put it through a process. Yeah. And see if it works. If it don't work, if it feel good to you, I mean,
look. Let it go. I want to say that we're pretty smart over here, right? Yeah. And I know they do their research. There's countries that don't have as much as we have, and the lifespan is
Longer?
Very much longer, right? Yeah. Don't think they didn't do their research. Don't think they don't know what they need to do. It's what they want to do, and if they want to cut their profit.
But see, this is the thing. People are set in their ways as far as, especially with medicine and their medication.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people haven't tried natural or holistic. A lot of people haven't tried changing their diet.
Yeah.
Right. That's sacrifice. That's you sacrificing what you want to do. And some people aren't with sacrificing. So what they'll keep eating the same thing they've been eating and just take their heart medication or just take their blood pressure medication.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They'll say, okay, I'm still gonna eat my pork chops and my smothered gravy.
Yeah.
The grease with the flour.
Yeah.
What you call gravy?
Yeah.
That's grease. That's lard.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And when they get into your body and then
it comes back up.
Yeah.
Leave it in the pot and watch how hard it get in the pot and just imagine what it's doing in your body. And then
you can't even pour it down the drain.
You can't. They tell you not to.
You can't even pour it. They tell you don't pour it in the drain, but it's all right to put it on your plate.
Bro, John, it's an ordinance that they send it to this factory that we try to get out of our neighborhood.
Yeah, for real.
And you putting it in your. But long story short, thank y'all. Just please pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah,
that's it.
We're in a microwave society, and that goes with our health as well. We want to instantly get fixed.
Well.
You know what I mean?
You
see that you want to instantly get skinny. Instead of giving people the tools to stay there, we give them the tools where they can take the shortcut, or they think the shortcut is to get the results that they want. And that's not always,
sometimes the shortcut is the long way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I grew up on Public Enemy. You can't trust it. Nolan Wells. Ooh. Nolan Wells. It's been and like the headline that I have is maybe older. So I'm gonna just start here and then we can build on it in the time that we have before our break, and then we'll come back with our guest. But an independent autopsy that has been requested by the family concluded that the cause and manner of death remained undetermined and unavailable for information. The pathologist stated that foul play could not be ruled out, but also did not conclude that foul play occurred. So they don't know what happened, is what they're saying. The family continues to seek additional investigation while official findings remain part of an ongoing process. And so any updates that you have about the Nolan Wells case that we can engage in right now? I've seen Sharonda been like going crazy with
Sharonda and my friend Sophie,
okay.
Right? She
thank you too for your and when I say going crazy, like that's
kind of keeping everybody
colloquialism.
Updated.
Yeah.
I think it's really, for me, like it's very sad. And I know you don't want to rush and give people the wrong information, but it's crazy how, our society, like, they're attacking the parents, right? Just because, and because they want the answers. All the mama did is because the mom ended it, they haven't accused anybody. They just asked for answers. They want to know what happened to their baby, and they deserve.
That's fair, yeah.
Right? They are going to Google and giving her 1 stars for her business.
Oh, they did. Oh, wow.
Right. They're bullying her because she wants to know what happened to her baby.
I mean, I think this is like more proof of what's going on in this society.
Yeah.
And I celebrate and salute the mom and dad for, walking this route, because it is going to be a dark route.
Yeah.
Because this has become a racial issue in a hyper-racial America.
And it don't have to be. This is a crime.
Them people gonna need security before it's over.
Yeah.
Did you see? Okay, let's just flip it. What was the girl here from Florida who boyfriend ended up killing her? Remember the white girl, they saw them. It was domestic violence. They was doing the camping, and then
on the road trip.
Trip.
And then they ended up coming back to the family. They got the mom and them all involved. I remember that. Yeah.
Remember, and they got a documentary. I can't remember her name or anything like that. You can see the difference of the support
of the families. Yeah.
Of the families, because they asked for answers.
Yeah.
Compared to the difference of the support that they're getting over here. I mean, the outrage. What you mean? What? Go ahead.
I mean, America protects their own.
Yeah.
right? You got 7 to 8, young, white, wealthy or upper middle class children on a boat.
Yeah.
And the black kid come up dead. Like it's the system itself goes into protection mode for them.
Yeah. But that's so crazy because if it was the opposite way, all of them would have been arrested.
The prosecution, but
they would have been arrested. They wouldn't have been able. As soon as they left that island and that white boy didn't come home.
Oh yeah,
all of them would have been in jail.
They would have called them suspects.
They would have
persons of interest, all of that.
Yeah, the neglect. Oh, they're acting. It would have been so ugly.
Yeah, and
y'all hear the tape?
I didn't hear the tape. So, I saw it in the tape. Yeah.
So there's a tape going around from
Gabby. Is her name? Go ahead. Thank you.
They called for a tow of the boat. And I guess they canceled it. But the phone call was recorded, and what's being said is that the beginning of the tape, you can hear him saying, Nolan is dead, is he all right, and yada yada, and a couple other things that has been enhanced.
Yeah.
So there's so many different tapes going around, it's speculation of what's real and what's fake, but the tow company itself has the tape on their website. The actual tape is available on the tow company's website. So they kind of washing their hands with it, like, hey y'all,
if you want to hear it, here you go. And I saw some articles around like different news outlets and how they've edited the tape to favor the people who was making the call. I saw that as one of the headlines too. It was like
some powerful parents involved.
They doctored the tape so that it didn't sound like what it was.
I don't know who the parents are, but some powerful parents are involved.
Yeah.
Because you can just tell by the things that are being done.
Right.
And how it's being spent in the favor of, because you can just report this stuff neutral. You don't have to be on either side. You don't have to slant it. You get what I'm saying? You can just say, okay, here's the facts. Y'all decipher it.
Yeah.
Right. But then you go through an extra effort of not displaying certain key moments of the tape and then playing music over the tape. You get what I'm saying? So it's things that's being done that don't gotta be done.
Yeah, exactly.
You get what I'm saying? You don't gotta do all this as a news source, but you gotta understand TMZ is not an impartial news source.
Okay.
So if this is
TMZ was one of the ones that's been doctoring tapes and all of that kind of stuff.
That's who's been accused of being in favor or slanting their coverage.
Okay.
You can kind of tell that they're not neutral.
Yeah.
Like when
they don't have to be. They don't
have to be.
This is like the Inquirer. This is like, I'm just saying, it's a gossip column.
Yeah.
But that's the sad point of American society or our community, because a lot of people are getting their information from TMZ.
Wow.
And
because in their mind, it's a trusted news source. And honestly, a lot of people do it. Like you'll see stuff and they be like, the TMZ posted, and then they be like, okay, it's real.
But TMZ ain't never say they was a trusted news source. They ain't say that they.
I say that people.
Yeah, but people refer to them.
But Entertainment Tonight is also a trusted news. No, it's in your mind. No, but I'm just saying, when you look at it, you know
Men in Black did, right?
Yeah.
Remember, Men in Black used to look at the Inquirer, and that was the real news.
That's what society has done, and it is mixed because the Inquirer newspaper owner also owns big news companies, so it is like a mess right now. But I'll say this, it's a lot more to come from the Nolan Wells tragedy. Ben Crump is on the job. I don't know where Ben Crump. I was thinking, where Ben Crump come from? I remember, but it came from when
was it Trayvon Martin?
It was Trayvon Martin down south.
Okay,
and he been here the whole time.
Yeah, wow. And so listen, y'all, it's a lot happening, a lot going on. And then after the break, we're gonna get into some a conversation with Councilmember Brandi Gabbard, who's also running for mayor of the city of St. Petersburg. We're going to talk about, some of the work that she's done, and we're going to ask some questions. And so if you got questions for our candidate, Gabbard, make sure that you put them in the chat, and we might be able to open up the lines and see.
Yeah, the lines are going to be open. Y'all know the number.
So y'all can give us a call if you have questions for candidate Brandi Gabbard, who will be joining us after the break. And we'll be back at 6 minutes after the hour.
Yeah, stick and stay.
answer. I got love for you, no lie. I give my best, I try. Someday we'll touch the sky. You're an angel, look up, baby. Wipe all your tears away. I know it's been crazy, but keep your head up high.
Foot chase through the
The odor complaints we've been telling you about in Childs Park for years have reached a new stage. For the first time, the Childs Park Neighborhood Association says it will have a formal voice in the permitting process for one of the companies in the area's industrial corridor.
Spectrum Big News 9's Sandra Weathers has been covering this story from the beginning, and she joins us now from Childs Park with the latest.
That strong smell is still very much an issue here. We got a strong whiff of it today as we were shooting video on the edge of that industrial corridor. Now residents are hoping they'll be able to do more than just file a complaint. They say they will get a chance to present their case and try to challenge a permit before it is renewed. Driving through Childs Park, you may not notice the smell at first until it hits you.
It's like burning oil, gas, and in some cases rotten eggs.
For years, Brother John Muhammad, president of the Childs Park Neighborhood Association, has pushed for answers about the reoccurring odors. Now, he says the neighborhood is taking its biggest step yet after a resident challenged the renewal of an air permit for one company in the industrial corridor. The Neighborhood Association successfully asked to become part of the administrative case. Brother John says that's a significant shift.
We wanted to be included in as a party, or an intervener is the term that I'm familiar with now, to the lawsuit, so that we can actually have standing, be able to call witnesses, do depositions, cross-examine witnesses.
This move comes after years of odor complaints. Our previous reporting uncovered pages of odor complaints made to the fire department, the city of St. Petersburg, and Pinellas County. Brother John says they're now focusing on one of the companies listed most in those complaints, Halco Environmental Services.
Moving from the outside of the process, making public comment, to actually having a seat at the table so we can lift up our voices and have the association as an entity be a part of the process.
Rachel Curran is the staff attorney at the Jacobs Public Interest Law Clinic for Democracy and the Environment at Stetson Law. She's representing the Childs Park Neighborhood Association. She says the administrative hearing will allow both sides to present evidence before the Florida Department of Environmental Protection decides whether the permit should be renewed.
Like, it's akin to a trial where we're going to get to the bottom of what's causing this smell so that DEP can finally make an informed regulatory decision upon the recommendation, hopefully, of an ALJ that makes the right call.
Brother John says residents hope the process finally leads to answers and cleaner air for the neighborhood some have called home for decades. There are several companies inside of that industrial complex that have air quality permits. The Neighborhood Association says they targeted Halco Environmental Services because they believe they generated the most odor complaints and they're up for renewal. As for that administrative process, we're told it should be getting underway by this September. Of course, this is the story we will continue to follow. Reporting on scene in St. Petersburg, Sandra Weathers, Spectrum News.
We did reach out to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for comment and didn't receive a response. We also called and emailed the owner of Halco Environmental Services, but those requests for comment were not returned.
Might have carried out a false flag operation.
The Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is an independently produced program. The views, opinions, and statements expressed by hosts, guests, or callers are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, positions, or policies of Carrie Festa Radio, 99 Jams, its ownership, management, affiliates, sponsors, or partners. Enjoy the show.
Oh, thank you, Tiff. They couldn't hear nothing we just said, y'all.
Okay,
so let me tell you what we
yeah.
did. We said, welcome back. We did the intro, Brother John, Qiana, Jabbar. We did, hey, the Views Express.
Yeah, yes.
So now you are all caught up.
You all caught up. You didn't miss much, right? Yeah. I like the synopsis. Candidate for mayor, city council member, Brandi Gabbard. Welcome back to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Pull your mic up for me.
How's the trail?
You know, we are working hard every day. Let's see, we are 18 days from
Okay.
the primary.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in the home stretch of the first leg of a very long marathon.
I hear that. Now, off-air production. Let us know. Can you hear Council Member Gabbard? Okay. I see Tiffany says I can hear now. We want to make sure that she sounds good.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Good morning.
Look, yeah, that's it. So join the conversation. Y'all know there's a seat at the table with your name on it. And so we appreciate y'all for that. And so jumping right in, knowing how fast this time goes, right? One of the things that we wanted to do was knowing that you've been on council, take a quick look back, right? How long has it been?
Well, this is my 9th year. So
Okay.
2 full terms, and then that second term we got that extra.
Yeah, we got the little bonus. We got 2 terms and a bonus year.
Bonus year.
Oh, it's Groundhog Year.
The
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that was the I was there for that. yeah. It did. So I had to stop myself.
You got triggered.
I did real quick too. real quick. And one of the things we wanted to lift
She
up
is a little low.
okay. So we'll do that. There we go. Thank you for that.
How's that?
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a lot better.
Jabbar on the screen.
Yeah, we'll pick him up on this side. But we want to talk about some of the things that you've done and worked on, particularly the things that we worked on. We worked on some things together, and one of them was the African American Quality of Life study, as well as the possible addition of a Quality of Life committee.
Yes.
So would you mind kind of taking us down that memory lane? And
Yeah. So that was back in 2018 when I first came to council. And that really started on MLK Day. Whenever, we all had the parade, we all, were celebrating, and then, the parade is over and we all go back to our neighborhoods and, kind of go on with our day. And that evening, quite frankly, I saw on your social media a very different reality happening in your neighborhood than was happening on my side of the city. And I immediately reached out to you and said, let's talk. And so we worked together. We brought, I think Janet Michelle was involved in that at the time.
Shout out to Janet Michelle.
Yeah. And we eventually brought a discussion to our Youth and Family Services Committee to entertain the idea of an African American Quality of Life study based upon what we had seen in Austin. And eventually that work turned into what ended up being accepted by council in, I believe, early 2020, which was the racism study.
Right.
And so, that resulted in a lot of the things that we have seen that has transpired with the chief equity officer. That came out of that study. And we were moving forward trying to do the Quality of Life Committee, which I still believe fundamentally has a lot of value for our city.
Right.
Unfortunately, Tallahassee and their culture war on what they call DEI initiatives has certainly made it much more challenging. But the intent was certainly there in the beginning, and I think there's still a lot we can take from that.
And I was going to ask you, just thinking about like what came out of that, and what do you think still needs to be done as it relates to the study and the recommendations that were in there? Is there anything that we still should be doing? Because a lot of times we pass these things, we celebrate, and then these recommendations sit on the shelf. So what would you say would be some appropriate next steps for the next mayor of the city of St. Petersburg as it relates to the African American Quality of Life and the chief the equity office that has now been
the
rebranded Community Impact
yes.
Office.
Yes.
Next steps as a mayor, what would you do with that?
I mean, I think there's still a lot of work that we have to do specifically around our Community Benefits Advisory Committee, our Community Benefits Ordinance, because some of that was all woven together. That policy work that we did, Jabbar, all came together, and the CBA was one of those results as well.
Yeah.
I think there's
Shout
a
out to the
lot
New Deal for
within
St.
that,
Pete.
specifically around economic development and economic opportunity and economic empowerment that we have yet to realize. And so one of the things as a city council member and then moving into the role of mayor, going back and kind of looking at those original proposals for the CBA and where did we kind of settle? And where should we have pushed more? And what can we do to put more teeth in that agreement and make sure that it does have true community benefit at the heart of it?
Right. Because you were, Mr. Edmond, definitely a trailblazer, pioneer in those spaces. And remember when we were advocating for, like, we had, so it was like two groups that came together. And one of the groups was a little more conservative than our group, I'll say it that way. And we wanted, like you said, some teeth, some additional things. And so seeing those opportunities to be able to make some impacts on that.
Yes, make it more mandatory and optional.
Yeah.
That was one of the things.
And then there was recent changes to it. Would you mind talking about some of the changes or proposed changes?
Yeah, there were some proposed changes in the way that the committee was made up, the impact study that needed to be done. Council pushed back on that. Those changes did not go through. I give a shout out to Councilmember Deborah Figg Sanders, who is always, making sure she keeps an eye on that ordinance as well.
Right.
And, the two of us being very adamant that there will be nothing done to this ordinance to water it down,
right?
Because we didn't even get where we wanted to be, right?
To start,
yeah.
It wasn't strong enough to start with.
And I think history matters even within the last decade to know how far we have come, to know what we are up against with Tallahassee, and to have a mayor that understands that we can't take our foot off the gas. We just have to find ways that we can continue to be creative, be equitable, be forward thinking, even in the face of what Tallahassee is putting before us.
Ashe. All right. Team. Conversation with let me do it. I was typing at the same time. So conversation with candidate for mayor Brandi Gabbard. Some other work that you've done and the things that were happening in the community. Some of that we participated in was the resilient work and resilient St. Pete. And would you mind talking about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So even before the storms of 2024, and you were on council in those days, a lot of our neighborhoods were already suffering from flooding, not only from, tidal issues during storms, but even, sunny day flooding from king tides or, heavy rains. And so some of the work that was done, was really community advocate, grassroots based, coming to the city and asking for the city to start to pay attention to areas outside of just the coastal neighborhoods.
Right.
Now, I come to this work with a vast experience because I represent coastal communities, right? I mean, my neighborhoods are all within the coastal high hazard. But there are areas right in the interior, right here in South St. Petersburg, that are ex-flood zones that people don't think would have any sort of issues with flooding. They were flooding long before 2024. And so we started working with the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council and a coalition of neighborhoods across the city to design the Resilient St. Pete Action Plan that lives on the city's website today. You can go on, you can research that. And what it is a resident-led guidebook to tell the city what is happening boots on the ground. And that, for me, has always been step one.
Right.
Because we need a citywide resilience plan to understand how we continue to be a vibrant city in the face of climate change, sea level rise, heavy rains, whatever you want to call it. But we had to start somewhere.
Right.
And so, Kingston Street specifically, that street, flooding after flooding after flooding along Clam Bayou. And we're just being ignored, quite frankly. And so I remember your advocacy as the council member, as community leaders, Jabbar as the president of the neighborhood association, making sure that they had a seat at the table in that work.
And I remember being out there on Kingston Street, talking with residents together. Like we did a tour. We were, doing these drives, and just seeing, people at their lowest, right?
Absolutely.
I remember walking into a house together with the woman who had her house totally gutted, and just the impact of that.
Yeah.
And so what would you say those experiences, what did those things teach you that City Hall probably couldn't have taught you?
Yeah, I mean, when you are in it with people, especially after they have lost everything, that I think it should live and resonate within you, deep within your being, to make change.
Yeah.
And to recognize that the issues that we are facing are not going to get better, and that this is real people's lives. These are the investments that they have made in their families, their homes, their properties in our city. And it's our responsibility as a city to find every way that we can to try to mitigate. We are never going to keep 7 feet of storm surge out of our city.
Yeah.
But we can absolutely improve our infrastructure, help people build faster, help people build higher and better. And those are the responsibilities that we as the city have. And so just seeing the pain on people's faces, the trauma that people have been through. My own home was damaged in Milton.
Yeah.
And still continuing to do public service, and get a kid to school every day and put a meal on the table, like all of that. It is deep within my bones and in my being, and it never leaves me. And when I am doing this work, those are the faces that I see whenever I am striving to make change in this area.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm just listening right now. I'm going down memory lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just kind of, because a lot of people also always want to know, like, what work have you already done?
Yeah.
Right. And that's important to let people know, because a lot of times people do the work and they don't know who's behind it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
then, when you come into running, they be like, where you came from?
Yep.
Because they don't know, if they don't know the name, or if you're not. And it's important that you're painting the picture and just letting people know that, like, you didn't just pop up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think sometimes too, especially, I mean, I'll just, obviously we're talking about me and my experience and my history. I'm a worker bee by nature.
Yeah.
Like, I just dig in, do the work, and then I move on to the next challenge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that is something I have had to learn through this campaign, is making sure that people understand.
Yeah.
I have a wealth of knowledge about the city. I know how it operates, but I also know where it falls short and where we have to get back on track for people.
Right.
And that is a unique perspective to any other candidate. Other candidates who have not worked within our city can throw stones all day long. But if they haven't been in it, if they haven't been doing the work, if they haven't stood shoulder to shoulder with our people, in my opinion, like, how are you going to make it better when you're going to be starting over?
Wow. Wow. And speaking of that, because you do make a valid point about, people thinking that you just popped up and came out. I actually got a message around grocery co-op. I think you posted around the grocery co-op, and it was like, well, why is she all of a sudden interested in the grocery co-op?
All of a sudden,
so would you mind telling us your work, not just with the co-op specifically, but just around urban agriculture and some of the things that you've done around urban agriculture?
Well, urban agriculture is certainly a personal passion of mine. I think that, I take that all the way back to my roots growing up in a small town in Indiana, where we had very little, but we had the ability to be able to grow our own food in the summer and, can and freeze and live on that throughout the year, have the, kind of swap with other community members. You've got the potatoes, but I've got the onions. Let's switch it, like, that's how I grew up. And so then moving to Florida and being like, wait a minute, like, you live in an urban city and nobody's doing this. Like, nobody's empowered to, like, grow their own food and feed their own communities. So that's kind of the, I think, gateway into that specific work.
Yeah.
And so I've had a lot of, success, but we have a long way to go, working at the state level to build the Urban Agriculture Act of 2021, then doing the Urban Agriculture Ordinance here in the city, which allows you to grow in your backyard, sell in your front yard, I like to say.
Yes, yes.
Right inside of our neighborhoods. And then also looking to build community food forests, because that is even a greater way to be able to do that at scale, and the impacts to the environment that helps with.
And just thinking about where we are now, again, and the work that you've done, that was kind of the what happened.
Yeah.
What are your ideas and thoughts on what still needs to happen in the urban agriculture space as it relates to like food security, food access? What are some things as, mayor, that you would be prioritizing in those spaces?
Well, we're definitely going to get that food forest project that I've been working on for many years off the ground. Where it's in the stage right now where they're doing some community exploration around it. I've been doing community exploration around this since 2021. So for me, I'm ready to move this forward. I'm ready to get trees, in community plots where we can actually get people to be able to start to reap the benefits of those. I mean, when you're building, trees that feed people, you're not only increasing your canopy, but you're also doing other good environmental benefits, right?
That's right.
If we would have started planting those trees 5 years ago, we'd all be eating off of them.
That's right. That's right.
Time is slipping.
Yeah.
So we're going to get that project moving forward pretty quickly. And then I think also working on, making sure that throughout the city, we find opportunities, and we may never be able to recreate the exact magic of the St. Pete Youth Farm.
Okay.
Because, that is a passion project for me as well. Something that I have been so proud to, be a champion for and fight for us to keep here in the city. Because at one point in time, they wanted to give it off to a nonprofit. And I said, no, we need to bring this into the city. And so when Mayor Welch first came on board, that was one of the first meetings we had was with Carla Bristol about how we make this part of the fabric of the city.
Yeah, you're right. And I remember that as well. Those were conversations, because I remember sitting down with Carla talking about starting a nonprofit because that was the direction at the time. And then eventually, that conversation
and
ceased.
I think it's important too, around the space of food insecurity and food work, what is sustainable? What has worked in other communities that isn't just a flash in the pan, right? I mean, we can't spend all this time and effort and do it and then put it all on the community, put it all on nonprofits, and then get upset whenever it falls apart. Right? People that are volunteers have lives, and nonprofits have limited bandwidth.
That's true.
We as the city, if we make this a priority, we can make sure that it's sustainable. And that's where I go back to with the co-op. Sustainability.
That's what Mr. Edmond always say, make it a line item in the budget. That was one of his, anything that we talked about doing that new deal with St. Pete. And we need to make it a line item in the budget.
I like to say you got to make it part of the mission statement, because if food security is not part of our mission statement, food sovereignty should be written into what we do. And housing. Well, we do have a department for housing. We just need to ramp it up, right? There's not a department for food.
That's right. That's right. So last thing that I had that I wanted to really get through was this public conversation, and I saw one of the posts that you made about you were correcting some misinformation, and it was like an attack on the administration and how they handled the storms, and then you commented on it saying, "Wait, enough is enough." Why did you think it was necessary to step in and say, okay, you're going too far. We need to pull back on that?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I have just as many criticisms of specifically Mayor Welch and how he manages communication around crisis conflict. That is probably my number one challenge with him from the storms. But what I read with the criticisms that were coming forward was an attack on the people who work for our city, who were doing the work. It's not about one or two elected leaders and their ideas. It is about the countless number of people who leave their own homes, who give everything for, almost 24 hours a day for many weeks. Even when they've lost their own homes themselves. And then somebody wants to come in who wasn't even here, was missing in action, and criticize our people who gave everything.
Right.
Now, we talked about, is there an after action plan that tells us what we need to do better next time? Absolutely. We need to be working on that. We need to make sure we are better prepared. We need to take all of those lessons and do better. But to attack our city as a whole, the city hall, the employees as a whole, these people.
I do.
And you know what they went through.
Absolutely.
You were on council.
Yes.
You remember those days when people could barely put one foot in front of the other, yet they were still out there helping others.
Yes.
It is too far. And to use our community, we talked about it earlier, the trauma that people felt after those storms. To use that for a political talking point is a step too far. It's just a step too far, and I won't stand for it as a member of this community.
I hear that. Well, that's what I kind of had. I mean, I got some other.
So I got one around you.
Okay.
Yeah, because people are asking questions.
Okay. So, we're gonna get we loaded. I see you. You. Thank you.
So Duke, what is the future? I know today is the end of the contract.
Yeah, it expires at midnight tonight.
Okay. And so what is the pathway forward, and how we're going to look at it?
So it expires at the end of tonight, but the good news for residents who are concerned about that is that Duke will not turn us off at 12:01 a.m. tomorrow.
Right.
That's not happening. State statute and case law says that they must continue to provide service. So I don't feel a need to knee-jerk reaction on any sort of renegotiation, especially for a long term, without the results of the feasibility study. So that is where we are. We have approved the dollars and that process is moving forward. Now that process does live under the current administration. We as city council members will continue to keep an eye on that and push for that to be done as quickly as possible so that we can get that due diligence and information we need to be able to either make a decision to go a different way with municipal electric, or if it says that that is not feasible, what information can we pull from that to be able to do the best negotiation possible? But again, I have a lot of heartburn with being a 30-year agreement. Period. That just to me, and again, I almost relate it to people just want us to kind of jump into this agreement again, right? And just rubber stamp it. And I mean, when you buy a house, you sign a 30-year mortgage, you do your due diligence before you do that, right? It is the same thing. That's me putting my real estate hat on, right? And my negotiation hat.
Those are transferable skills.
Right, exactly. Like we wouldn't sign for a 30-year mortgage on something we hadn't looked under the hood and said, is this something we actually want to do?
Does it have to be 30 years?
I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
So the second part of this question, then you have to go to the audience. Renewable energy, solar power.
Yeah.
Right? How do the city of St. Pete harness the solar power without giving it away to Duke Energy or to some third party? So it actually benefits the residents.
Well, I mean, certainly the state of Florida does set that up to be very challenging. And so, I know probably enough to be dangerous. I think we're going to find some of those answers within that feasibility study because there is pieces of that that will talk about renewable energy. The good thing is that as mayor, I'm really good at building coalitions. That is one of my strengths. I mean, we sit right here. We've done this work together, right? And so, working with organizations like the Southern Alliance for Clean Energy or the Solar Energy Loan Fund, working with different organizations who do this work to really make sure that the goals of the ISAP plan are being followed through and, finding out how we can be a leader in that space.
Is there a renewable committee in the city like a solar energy committee?
No, I mean, we just have the HERS committee, obviously, for city council. And so all of that rolls up under there. But there is not a separate committee at this time for the community. Yeah.
And being a dump Duke candidate, what does that actually mean? for people who don't know, like, I think you say it like
the Don't Duke campaign is really, to their credit, grassroots organizers that have made the push for us to do this feasibility study. They gave us the leverage. They gave us the information. They armed us with all of that. And so, that's exactly what it is. It's a grassroots campaign, just like my mayoral campaign is a grassroots campaign. And we've had some very frank and honest conversations and some very realistic conversations about what may or may not happen. I have not made any false promises because, again, I don't have that feasibility study to know where we're going to be. But at the same time, I've made the commitment to exploring it. I've made the commitment to pushing back on public power and trying to keep those profits here within our community. And therefore, out of all the mayoral candidates, I'm very proud to say that they have certified my campaign, and I've enjoyed working with them, and I look forward to continuing to do
Okay, I got one more. Go ahead, Mr. Edmund.
Oh yeah. Well, are you going to take all the questions?
No, that's actually one. So it's perfect. So he's in line with Miss Eva. Yeah, Miss Eva says, "What is Brandi's thoughts concerning Tropicana Fields for the future?"
Yeah, pretty simply stated, I've led the charge on city council this year to request the mayor to pause selecting a developer. The mayor has decided to go ahead and move forward with that. At the same time, I'm moving forward with a study that is being done from an independent land use organization and a group of stakeholders from the community, the Urban League, the foundation, various different community members. I've met with the gas plant descendants, and really making sure that we don't give this land away to a developer until we have done a community planning process. And that community planning process should answer the question for us: what should we do with that land? What is the best use for community benefit? But really answer the question, should we even sell the land at all?
Yeah.
We've never even asked that question.
Right.
No. A lot of people are saying no, right?
Yeah.
And if you are listening, exactly. If you are listening to the community is asking us to pause. And that is every corner of our city is asking us to take, and again, due diligence. We have to do our due diligence, because once this land is gone, it's gone. And then we lose control of it. And yes, we can put things into agreements. But what we know is that master plan developments all over the country, about 70% of the time, last time I was doing my research, comes back within 5 years looking for major amendments to their agreement. The economy changes, construction costs change, all kinds of things can change. And so we need to do our due diligence. We need to make sure this is the right decision for us. And if at all possible, if we could keep that land, do land leases, things like that, I think that is the more prudent thing for the city to be doing.
Amen. And then another question in the chat from UB Rhymes. UB says, what about jobs, industry, and economic sustainability? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, a lot of that also goes through with my resiliency plan. Because there's a really unique opportunity for the city of St. Petersburg to be a leader in climate resilience jobs. These are high wage paying jobs. We have to work with our universities to make sure that our local talent is trained up for these jobs. But I'll give you a very simple example. A project I've been working on now for a couple of years. There is a construction trades program that is being sponsored by the National Flood Mitigation Industry Association. They are going to partner with St. Pete College to train up specifically around elevation of property. And so this is an area where right now there's only about 3 or 4 companies that do this work. Most of them are not from our area, and they are charging very high prices because it's a supply and demand issue.
$500,000 a lot.
Exactly. So why wouldn't we grow company and industry right here in St. Petersburg? It's not being done anywhere else in Florida, this particular curriculum. And why would we not grow that here so that our people, these are like 6-figure jobs. They're not your everyday hammer and nail construction jobs. Why would we not empower our people to learn that trade, create those businesses, and keep those dollars here in our community while we're rebuilding our vulnerable neighborhoods? That's just one example.
Okay, that's a great example. Thank you for that. Can you see those, Q?
Hold on, let's go. I know it was. What do you think about lowering taxes?
Okay.
Well, is that a question specifically about the amendment?
That's the only way to lower.
I mean, certainly, I mean, as a real estate broker,
it was the first question. Go ahead.
As a real estate broker, I am always in favor of, making sure that property taxes are affordable. I've always supported homestead exemptions. And I think that there was a way that the legislature could have done this to increase over time based on, CPI and things like that, to be able to have given some more relief for homeowners. But what they're doing, what they've put before us, is essentially just taking a sledgehammer to the system. And in my opinion, it is an overreach of Tallahassee government because they've done all these preemptive measures. But if they can take our money away, now they've got us. Now they can tell us exactly what to do every single day because they control the dollars and they control how we find other funding. So that is what I think of the amendment that is coming. I also have great concern about the shift that will happen because we will have to find money in other places. We have to provide public safety. We have to make sure that we still are protecting quality of life. We have to pay our employees. We have to keep the lights on at City Hall so we can keep bringing service. So we're going to have to find other ways. And we know that those other ways are going to hit our small businesses, our renters. Those are the people who are going to bear the brunt of this if Homestead goes away.
All right, and if you're just tuning in, y'all, we're here with candidate for mayor, Brandi Gabbard, and please put your comments or questions in the chat. We're making sure that we get to them and hearing what the people say. Next one that I see here, it says, what are your thoughts on wastewater and water resources? And that's kind of broad. So.
I would definitely say, I mean, we've talked a lot about resiliency, right? And resiliency, yes, we need to help people build. We need to help people get up out of harm's way. We have to invest in our infrastructure. I mean, that it's not the sexy part of it, right? It's all the stuff underground or in a wastewater facility that you don't see, but it has to be prioritized. And so the voters are going to get a choice in November if they want to allow us to do a minimal tax on properties and use that money to bond almost $600 million of infrastructure projects. I would argue that if the voters are putting that, like giving us that authority, that they also elect a mayor who understands these challenges, who has been in it, who has been advocating for responsible infrastructure funding, because what the infrastructure specifically around stormwater needs to focus on is where is the best return on investment on these projects to protect our homes and our businesses, period.
Amen. Q, what you got?
Listen.
Q leaning in, learning.
I mean, because I can't see the questions.
Right.
Okay. Do you have any ideas on improvement for 22nd Street South?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that, City Hall has been focused on for quite some time. I think, the Deuces townhomes, we finally get those moved forward. It's unfortunate that those have taken so long to be able to bring to fruition. But I think that, along the way, we've lost a little bit of our reverence for the pioneers in that area, the people who invested their own dollars dollars long before the city was investing.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a way that we can bring new growth while at the same time honoring the legacy that was already there and the people who were already there. I think that that is a piece that has become lost. And while I think that, you know, the Manhattan Casino reopening under city leadership is certainly a choice that this administration has made, I think I probably would have focused on other things like a grocery store first before I focused on an event space. Those are the choices I would have made for 22nd Street, because I think that, you know, there's want and there's need. And when the resources are limited, you have to go with the need first.
Amen. Amen. Mr. Edmond, Mr. Edmond, that took you back. What's that reaction, man? What's that
Did I
whoop?
trigger?
What was that
Sorry.
whoop?
I know, because I remember the days. I can remember.
Yeah.
I can remember.
You know, you're just looking at 22nd, like you say, like my family, right where, you know, the apartments are at. That was Snow Peak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember them negotiating and buying it from, you know, and so thinking about that, and then the Manhattan Casino, that's where Green's Bakery was at, and all those stores and the historic, you know, the imprint of St. Pete is on 22nd. And I think it's really important to make sure that like people know that.
Yeah. It's gonna be a ribbon cutting. Well, it's gonna be the biggest ribbon cutting I've ever seen.
It's gonna be the biggest ribbon cutting we've ever seen. I mean, there's a lot of that happening right now. And another thing that came up for me, just knowing the day-to-day demands of a council member.
Yeah.
How do you balance campaigning with also you know your day job?
Well, you know, I got a couple of day jobs. You know, I always remind people I have never left my career. If anything, I have grown in my career and, you know, certainly excelled as a real estate broker. And I was very intentional in not leaving my career, even though sometimes over the 9 years it would have been easier to only have one job. But I wanted to make sure that I was really maintaining that boots on the ground experience with everyday people trying to find a way within our city. And so, you know, that has certainly been, and I still do that to this day. I'm a real estate broker over a statewide team, working under the largest credit union in the state of Florida. So it is quite a responsibility. But again, it is that executive experience I bring to the role of mayor that I think is important. And I'm glad that I've stayed in that space. I've been an incredibly effective city council member. I've filed, I think to date, it's like 111 new business items or what we would call like pieces of legislation or something like that. So, I mean, I've certainly done the work. I've never slacked on that job. And I'm raising a kid, right? He was 5 years old when I was elected and he's, you know, going to 15 now. So,
and I know because they're the same age as
right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I've kept all of these things running. So the campaign has kind of just melded into my life, right? And I don't have deep pockets to have a big, sophisticated campaign team. You know, I do have a great team. They are working very, very hard every day, and we are supported by countless volunteers. That, you know, infrastructure is something that gives me a lot of motivation because I can see it in people's faces that they are committed to making sure that our vision is one we take forward for this city. So above all else, I think the good news is that I am perfectly designed through all of that to be able to handle the job of a 24/7 executive mayor. I am ready to go. I don't need a learning curve. I don't need to figure out how to be accountable to, you know, my own schedule. I'm accountable to my own schedule every single day.
Yeah. And here's another question from the chat. Ms. Debbie, thank you for your question. Where do you see the city of St. Petersburg in the next 5 years?
Well, I think a lot hinges on who is in the leadership role. I think if we looked back 5 years ago, we were on a real, you know, upward climb for some parts of our city. Other parts of our city needed a new focus. And I think what we have seen over the last 5 years is that that you know, shift hasn't really happened to making sure that prosperity reaches all corners of our city. And I think that we need a mayor who recognizes that and who is willing to do the hard work to try to find opportunity for everyone who lives in our city and not just in the core. right?
I hear that.
And so it's going to take a mayor who believes that, who is willing to do that hard work. And so a lot hinges on these elections.
Yeah.
And that whoever is in that seat, they don't do all the work, but they set the tone, they set the vision, they set the pace, they lead the staff, they work with city council to make sure that all 8 districts are getting what is rightfully theirs for attention and resources and need. And that is the kind of mayor I am committed to being. And so I would tell people, if you have another candidate, you need to ask them the same question.
So if elected, what's your first 100 days look like?
Yeah. So we are going to dig into our permitting process right away. That is, work I've already done as, a district that has been impacted a lot with our permitting processes. I have continued to work on that. Just had a meeting yesterday with our building official. So, that will be the first thing that we tackle to streamline and fast track our permitting processes, specifically for residential property. That is a passion that I think, we need to get on right away. And then there's also this exercise of culture rebuilding and weaving our culture in between our individual departments. That is going to take a little time with being a new leader for them. And so I'm very much looking forward to that, getting in with each department, really sitting down, understanding from the mayor's point of view, because city council doesn't direct staff. Right? We don't direct them. We pass the budget and we pass legislation, but we don't get in the weeds with them. Right. And so I'm looking forward to that piece of it. And then really starting to work with all 8 of those city council members to figure out what those priorities are for their individual districts. Because unfortunately, right now I live in the sunshine with them and I can't have those conversations outside of the dais. And I know there's a lot of things that I hear on the dais that I feel like they have priorities on or they're working on and maybe haven't been able to get across the finish line that they've wanted to. So I look forward to having those conversations. So that first 100 days is going to go really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the South St. Pete CRA is another one that we need to talk about because of the work that you've all been doing with that 10-year look back.
Right.
We're talking about that budget and the money that sits within it now and the programmings. And so as mayor, I look forward to being able to get into that at a much deeper level and really figure out how those dollars that are being captured can really be sent out to the community so that we can make the biggest impact with those.
Absolutely. And one of the questions that I thought about as we were sitting here, we talk a lot about the expertise that we have in the areas that, we're familiar with. What would you say are some parts of the city or parts of the organization that you're not as familiar with that you would have, to spend some more time learning about? Is there anything that you've identified?
Yeah, it kind of goes along with right now, City Council is doing a management evaluation on the billing and collections department. And that kind of stemmed from what we saw with the water bills and the metering and all of that, that we still haven't been able to get to the bottom of. This council, that is the mechanism they have for exploring our departments and figuring out where those gaps are.
The management studies,
So that management study, I don't have the timeline for it, but it will be done, early next year. And while that is a city council study, it's then given over to that department. And so I look forward to working with those departments, not only, just to make their jobs easier, but to really figure out where those gaps are. And if it is funding for technology or infrastructure or processes, whatever it is, we just got to figure it out because right now it's such a pain point for everyone. And we cannot get to a place where we are having these thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of water bills that people don't find out about until it's already there. Right. And then the process for trying to appeal that is this like strange, vague process that nobody really feels comfortable with or feels transparent.
Right.
So, yes. And if we,
10% or 50% higher than
if we had automated metering, there is technology that if you were having a leak at your property, you could get a notification. Those are the kind of things that we need to do.
Another question. What about the businesses that are outside of the CRA? Is there a plan for us?
I mean, certainly, I think, business communities all over the city, small businesses struggle in different ways for different reasons. And so we do need to take a holistic approach for our small business community. Being that I've, been in small business for a very long time, I'm very sensitive to the issues of keeping the lights on, making sure you're making payroll, making sure you have the technologies that you have. And so I'm very open to finding ways, working with our business community, because I think a lot of times, I love the work that happens within the chamber and other places, but it gets siloed to just those voices. And we need to open it up to the actual business people who just got their heads down doing the work every single day. And how do we make sure that they can continue to thrive? So yes, that is a challenge, and one that we're going to have to find a way to be able to bridge that gap for them.
And just in transparency, I'm about to lose my notes. This computer's about to die, and we still have 9 minutes left, but that's all right. And we don't need it to do what we need to do, but I just wanted to let y'all know we're going to do Freestyle Friday for real.
There you go.
And so I wouldn't be able to see the questions because it's like on the countdown right now. But for those who are tuning in, we're here with candidate for mayor and city council member Brandi Gabbard. She's covered the ground in a lot of spaces. One of the things that's another topic that's really big in the community is youth. And so youth programming, safe spaces for youth and opportunities. And so would you mind talking about how you've supported youth, and also what are some things that you see are needed, and what would you do to address some of the challenges that we're facing with our youth in the city of St. Pete?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I've got a 15-year-old, right? So I understand it's a very complex issue, and it's really a very challenging issue, I think, for city government, from, on that perch to really kind of come down to our youth and say, what do you need? How can we connect? And, the Dream Defenders have been coming to city council for 3, 4, 5 years now. And we brought this up yesterday in our budget planning workshop. Was, there's a section in our budget that talks about youth employment and youth opportunity grants and things like that. I have asked the administration to put together a spreadsheet that shows us every dollar and every program that the city is spending going into youth programming, because the Dream Defenders have brought this idea forward that we should use almost like our ambassador program or our youth stipend programs to employ youth within our community to spread all of these programs, because they're not going to listen to us.
Credible messengers. Mr. Edmund mentioned that earlier.
Adults, they're not going to listen to us.
Old people. That's
right. What do they know? Right.
Right.
But if another youth is telling someone, hey, come to this, do this, there's this resource, there's that activity, they're going to be more inclined to want to participate.
Right.
And so, we've heard a lot of different reasons why that has not been possible. I think that, we should really get serious about what that looks like and making sure that we can employ our youth to help us solve those challenges.
Employing our youth to help us solve the challenges. That was a model that we brought forward very early. I remember we were doing community outreach and summer jobs for youth, and we it might have been like our first grant that we got through CDAT was to hire 10 youth to do outreach. I think it was Yes for Greenlight at the time. We would
Greenlight
Pinellas. And so that was like the first contract that we got, and we hired youth to do outreach, and so that was another part of the conversation with the Dream Defenders to be able to advance that, and they have been champions for youth.
I want to ask this: mental health.
Yes.
There's been a lot of mental health challenges and a lot of mental health worries, right? People want to know, is there anything the city doing or can do around mental health?
Yeah, I think that, the mental health issue goes into so many different factions. It goes into the homelessness challenges that we have. It goes into some of our crime prevention. The CALL program has been a phenomenal success, and I think a blueprint for how we should be managing mental health. We should be sending social workers who are trained in mental health and conflict management, and being able to really help people, because when you address mental health, You can even work to solve and keep people from becoming homeless if you can solve that up front. It's a prevention measure. And so, yesterday, again, in our budget meeting, we heard, that there's been a lot of dollars put towards mental health specifically. I think that, again, this is a place where we need to be really transparent about what those services are, how they are working, how they are being spread to our community, and making sure any of these programs have real deliverables associated with them. And if we're working with nonprofit partners, making sure that they are accountable to those same outcomes.
And with that, in that same vein, thinking about mental health and the resources that have been put into it, I know the hub was one of the things that we workshopped through a lot of these processes, and knowing that that's funded. It was funded by ARPA dollars. And there are other programs that were funded by ARPA.
And those run out this year.
And so with those running out, have there been conversations? And then as mayor, have you looked at any of the ARPA funded programs? And then ways to continue them if they're achieving the metrics?
Yeah, some of them have started to already be interwoven into our current funding. I'm not going to say all of them because that would be probably, not accurate. So I do think that, again, it's about what programs from that worked. What do we know that if we stop funding them, there will be a gap in our community that will then cause other challenges. I think that is important. We talk about mental health, and to bring it back, you talk about youth, right? We have the program where, for youth aging out of foster care. That I think is something that we have not really done enough work on. We have the stipend program that we do for them for a limited period of time to kind of get them on their feet. I want to make sure that funding is always kept whole. And that we are looking for ways to expand that funding and that programming. But can we also offer job opportunities? Because if we can keep those youth off of our streets, I mean, we know that they are greater victims of crime. Women are more assaulted, in that age group when they are on the streets. Mental health challenges, can be exacerbated. And then, it's just a downward spiral from there. And these kids, and there are kids. The day they turn 18 is not the happiest day in the world for them, like it is for other people, right? It is the most miserable day because now everything cuts off. And where do they go and what do they do?
And what type of support do they have?
Exactly. So are there ways that we can do supportive housing with wraparound services that includes employment opportunities specifically geared towards youth aging out of foster care? I think that ties all of this conversation together, and something that you have to lead with empathy and understanding that these outcomes don't have to be what the statistics say they are. We have to keep our kids from becoming those statistics.
Time flies when you're having fun. We got 2 minutes left, y'all.
Maybe had to leave the people. We'll leave it with you.
Final thought.
Why should they vote for you?
That's a great question.
Well, if they're looking for a mayor who is going to be transparent, accountable, and communicate the issues and the decisions that are made, if they are looking for a mayor who is going to put resiliency and sustainability for our community at the forefront of everything that we do, protecting the environment, protecting people's homes and businesses and investments, focusing on food insecurity, focusing on safer streets, focusing on job creation and transportation to get to those jobs. If those are the issues that matter to the voters, then I would ask them not only to go to my website, Brandi4stpete.com, to read my entire vision and plan, but vote. Vote on August 18th. Early voting starts on August 8th. It runs through the 16th. Mail ballots are out now. Vote for Brandi Gabbard. Get us through this primary so that we can go on and we can make a better St. Pete for everyone in January and moving forward.
Amen to that. All right, y'all. What's your final thoughts?
I don't know what mine is. Be the change you want to be. See, write down those 5 things. Right. And y'all know, stay tuned for Sister You.
Oh, we didn't get Mr. Edmund.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Brandi.
Yes.
And you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Y'all hear me.
There you go. Look, we can hear you at the end.
Okay, thank you. Hey, yeah, thank you, Brandi, for coming out. And we got so much stuff going on, got so much work to do. And we're gonna run through the finish line.
Yeah, we run through it, not to it. Yeah, thank y'all. Friday night done right tonight, and there's a neighborhood cleanup tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. We're meeting at Soapy's tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We're gonna do a neighborhood cleanup in Childs Park. If you want to do that, see an immediate impact, that's the way to do it. All right, this has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
This is Qiana.
I'm the one and only Mr. Edmund.
And we out.
Bing, bing.
Bing, bing.